Tickets, please, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Hammerbun Project Express, stopping all stations.
I wondered why you bought that.
Yeah, did you see it?
I didn't even see it.
I didn't want you to see it. Yeah, this is my train whistle. I just thought, I don't know if I get it. I don't know if I get a chance to use the train whistle. So I thought, I'm bearing the lead though.
Yes.
Back to a
Please,
more professional mode.
In character.
This episode of the Hammerbun Project is called Derailed.
Hello, Frank.
Hello, Brendan. How are you?
I'm doing real well.
That's the one.
Martin, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Is that what we... This could go on all night.
Yeah, the attitude of like throwing each other under the bus is really catching on. It's good to see.
Or the train.
The train. How did I... I'm just going to sit in the shame that I missed that opportunity.
Speaking of public transport, this episode of Bluey is called Trains.
It certainly is. Let's talk about it because it's what we do here on the Hammerbun Project, and I'm really enjoying doing it. Just so you know.
You sound like you were having to convince yourself there for a second.
No. I just have to convince the listeners. Actually, we've been through this before. I don't really have to.
You don't have to sell it to people who are currently listening.
Who are already.
Actually, I was going to say, like, if you're listening to this and you're not on a train, maybe just wait until you're on a train.
Yeah,
get in the mood.
Is it required? Is it like a prerequisite that you be on a train to listen to this episode?
I think you would get a better experience.
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, Marty, you're still in Sydney town.
Yeah.
Train central there. Like, trains are very common. In Adelaide, we have what? 3?
We're supposed to have 4, but that Gawler line.
There's a cockle train.
The cockle train.
Oh wow! There's that one. What's that one? Semaphore? Is it Semaphore or Glenelg? The one that was around there.
I do not know.
Never mind.
But yes, I think very much a lot of this resonates from like having to take the train to work for so long, and just especially the waiting on the platform stuff and notes,
ping pong,
that sort of stuff. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Trains are so good. I love trains. They're so romantic. I don't know. There's something about trains, but I can go on about that later, can't I?
Yeah.
In the episode.
You can go on your other show, the Brendan Choo Choo Trains podcast.
The extended version.
I choose you. Yeah.
Aw. Simpsons reference, Frank.
There you go.
Thanks, buddy. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, shucks.
But what do we often do when we're doing this thing that we do where we're riding this train
I think
to review.
I'm going to let you finish that.
I wish you didn't.
we lay down on the tracks and wait for the Marty Express to just come steaming over the top with some bare bones. Turn us into bare bones.
That got gory.
You.
Alrighty, so this episode, really it's an extrapolation of wormhole theory. I think. So, as you guys know, like the speculative structure connecting two disparate points in space-time based on a special solution of the Einstein field equations, but you guys knew that.
Pretty standard sci-fi stuff.
It can be visualized as a tunnel through which a metal craft, so either, like a spaceship or a train, something like that,
USS Enterprise,
to go to those two separate points in space-time. Because there's no way that you can actually get around the healer house.
That's what I thought you were going with this.
I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah, their house is non-Euclidean or something. Yeah. That's got to be the story going on here. No, what's it really about? Well, it's actually quite a lot like Bus. Isn't it? Because it's a whole story, except in this one, the story vehicle. I think I made that joke last time. It's actually a train. Hey. But yeah, the whole story, it's just Bingo is playing a character called Dr. Glenda, who's a vet, and it's about her adventures getting on the train, getting off the train. That's kind of like the A plot, and there's like a B plot with Bluey and her cat, and it's just hilarity ensuing as per usual.
Is it a good idea to just randomly do this through the episode?
I saw you I saw you getting it out, and I was like, "Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
It's going to be a long show."
I didn't want you to see me getting it out. I kind of put it down by my side so you didn't see it. I thought I was sneaky.
I couldn't see what it was. It was a surprise for me.
Yeah, well, that's 1 out of 2 ain't bad. There are some really good trains in South Australia. Actually, there's a couple of nice old narrow gauge railroads. The Pitchy Ritchie and the Steam Ranger. Yeah, I've been on both of those.
Yep.
Delightful.
I think I've been on the Steam Ranger.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
The Steam Ranger goes from like Mount Barker all the way down to Victor, but it stops in Strathallan. And the Pitchy Ritchie is out in the southern Flinders.
Anyone been on the Ghan?
That's a dream of mine to go on I want to go before I die, Ghan and India Pacific.
Yep. I've been on the Ghan up to Alice Springs. We had friends in there. So when I was like sort of teenager, sort of 13, 14, something like that, me and the family went up there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's very, very cool.
That's awesome.
It's one of those things where you get people from overseas and stuff, and they don't really have to them, Australia is a small country. And I go, in terms of population, you're absolutely right. But in terms of size, there's just a big old nothing in the middle. And it's not until you do a trip like, in our case, driving Adelaide to Melbourne or something like the Ghan, where you just go straight up the guts.
Right up the guts.
And then you just look out and it's just red dirt as far as you can see. And you go, oh, look, there's a tree. One tree in the middle of nothing.
Spot the tree.
It's pretty incredible.
I love the way, you guys are really talking about trains as South Australians, because in Sydney it's just kind of like, no, that's my daily sardine can.
Yeah, sure, fair.
Oh, watch as the train gets delayed or cancelled. Or these days you have a little thing showing which cars on the train are getting full. And they go, oh, it's orange. Oh, it's red. Okay.
I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah, just, watching the minutes count down, watching the fact that you've just missed the last train and now you have to wait. It's usually only about 7 minutes to the next one.
It really gives our international listeners an insight into the difference between Sydney and Adelaide. Sydney really is a world city, and
Adelaide is not.
Adelaide's I heard someone on the radio describe it once as a country town with the balls to call itself a city.
I always love the fact that, I think I've told you this story before, like our mutual friend came over and she was looking for a visa, but you could only get certain forms of visa in regional, you have to get work in a regional area, which is fine because South Australia, including the CBD, is all classified as a regional area.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Which is good fun.
That was very funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's our regional capital city. But
Bluey?
Bluey. Yeah,
Bluey,
I always do this.
Yeah.
I just really like trains and the idea of trains in folklore, and like, because I guess I'm just a blues fan, and I just like that idea of, and then without getting too far ahead of myself, just the music in this episode just immediately evoking trains and railway travel, and so I totally forgot to talk about the actual episode. Did we even let you finish, Marty? I always do that. I always forget whether I've actually
I realized I should have made it about it should have been a Thomas the Tank Engine reference. Missed that one. Never mind. In terms of like sounds and music,
who let this guy bring props?
In terms of sounds and music, one of the things I was wondering is whether because Bandit has the train arriving, train leaving. I wonder if that's imitating something from Queensland. So if there's anybody listening who knows.
Yeah, I was going to say the way we were talking about the Sydney and the Adelaide experience of trains, I would imagine based on this, trains are equally as common in a way to get around in Brisbane from the sounds of it. I don't have any first-hand knowledge / experience on that. But yeah, his sound effects of the train, and you can see him sort of slightly reverse when the train comes to a stop. He sort of goes back a bit as well, and you go, I wonder if the trains actually do that. And Chilli with her wonderful, bing bong announcer voice,
bing bong.
Just delightful. The other sound that got me on this one is Poppy, of course, Bingo's little child, and every interaction, just little. little squeaks every time she puts her down or picks her up. Like it's
in
really
that
subtle, but really nice.
Yeah, it's in that first sequence. I love that sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, that's the opening line of the episode, isn't it? Yeah.
After work, goodbye, husband. And just playing around with Poppy, and she's squeaking a little bit, but it happens because I think she puts Poppy down and it makes a little squeaky noise, and then she's kind of like readjusting her bag on her shoulder, and there's just like a little bit of business going on while she's waiting for the train to come along. It's so good. She's so in character.
And I love that halfway through the episode when she gets dropped back off at her quote home, unquote, like it's only a matter of seconds before it's sleep. Morning, morning, Poppy. Goodbye, husband. And
I'll bet you.
So it really gives the sense that we've come in halfway through the game and this has been a loop, and who knows how long this has been going for or will go for.
I imagine Bandit was hoping for a bit more of a break than sleep before the next train had to come around.
This is probably a good time then to bring in my for real life.
Oh yeah.
Naomi saw this episode and then she asked for it on replay about 6 times in a row.
Okay.
I really like this one. And then she would just like lined up 2 chairs and she's like, off you go, Dad. I'm like, unfortunately,
nice.
Physics doesn't work with the sort of chairs we have. I'm just I'm sorry, I can't actually push you around.
You need a wheelie
Especially
chair
in our apartment where we can't, you can't turn corners. And also the fact that, the episode just makes it seem like every single room in the house is on a linear track. She got really upset. She's like, push the thing. I'm like,
a non-Euclidean linear track.
So Joe Brum, if you're listening, your fanciful thing made my child cry. No.
yeah. Like, I mean, the healers cop enough heat for being like perfect parents and sort of like setting an unreachable standard. And that was before they started bending the laws of physics.
Like the bit in the middle where, I think Bluey's cat is injured or whatever, and they go down the corridor, which has got this wonderful carpet runner.
Yep.
And you just go, okay, polished floorboards in the hallway from what we can tell. But if you're able to push that, and then when Chilli jumps on as well, he's able to push that down the carpet runner. I was like, no. Through the kitchen and the hard floors, sure, fair enough. Bingo's only little, but now you're pushing an adult and a bigger kid over a carpet? No, not possible.
And apparently they don't care about resale value of their house either, because that thing's going to be scratching up the floor like
it's
crazy.
A Queenslander, mate. It can take it. It's seen worse.
One of the little details I loved in this episode was the bus signs.
Yeah, the train signs.
How
the
good!
Bus and they're all in different colours.
Yeah.
Did you notice what colour Bluey's stop was?
Is it blue? No, it'd be red.
It was red. Because train trying to skip this station. This is the danger. This is where the danger part of the episode comes in.
That is pretty funny. That moment is just skipping the station before. Is that the first time that Bluey is even introduced into the episode? You don't see her until just trying to skip this station. You're like, why? And then Bluey comes out like, that's why. But Bluey just being totally aware of the game.
and Bluey, like for a lot of, don't get me wrong, as far as an MVP, I'm going to go early and just say Chilli. She's really into being 100%. A vet, and her little like polar bear interactions. She's doing that all herself. There's a lot of that going on before Bingo even enters the room, and that she, again with your teleportation theory, Marty, she's at what is it, Mother Duck daycare 1 second, and then whoop, and then jumps,
she runs off
to the next
screen
room.
left,
and
then
up in the kitchen.
They
and
enter
she's at the vet.
Screen left, so they've gone all the way around. I don't know.
But going back to Bluey herself, probably the line of the episode.
Oh boy.
No feet on the seat, no drinks, and that cat must be in your lap. Just drive the train, mate.
just drive the train.
I hate those people. I hate them so much.
Just drive the train,
I just hate anybody who you just like, you try and say, look, these rules are for, like there was somebody smoking in front of a no smoking sign the other day, like in front of a doctor's office. I'm like, sorry, excuse me, would you mind? And they're like, no, just go away. I'm like,
oh man,
so frustrating when they make it seem like you're
rules,
the one who's being annoying.
Society will collapse, guys. Come on, rules.
So when it's just like you can 100% know that person. You've seen that person before. You're just like, don't worry about it. It's just do the thing.
Oh boy, I won't go into my massive rant about being a postie and trying to follow rules with all these locals who go, oh, you know me. You know me. And I'm like, no, rules are rules. It gets hard to say to hundreds of people every day. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to start. And then I almost
Just
did.
deliver the mail,
Just
mate.
deliver the mail, mate. Speaking about Chilli and how good she is at playing and how into the game she is, when we did our puppets episode, you mentioned, Marty, how fun it is whenever you see the healer's gums.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I could
Both
see it
of
on
you
your
got there
face.
before me. Like,
Yeah,
we talked about the
we did
secrets, and now you're talking about the gums. Like, yeah, that's all I've got. I haven't got anything left now.
Put the
Yes, we
notepad down.
did it.
Hey!
That's
There it is.
That's exactly what I had. As Frank said, it's like super cute because she's doing it by herself for her own entertainment.
Yeah.
And she does
Yes.
that grrr and
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I think
she's just having a good day.
she's having a good time. But I think as well, the one that gets me, because it's a little growl and there's sort of teeth showing, it's showing her doggishness, which is an
Yeah.
interesting sort of
Yeah.
fluctuation for Chilli, because she's
Yeah.
this very maternal sort of figure, and then it's this sort of doggy aggression sort of thing. So
Yeah, it's like one of those fun moments like in, Takeaway where Bingo goes and collects the paper and comes
Yes.
back and gets
As
a
a
little
dog.
pat. And,
Yeah.
any time where they kind of
Beach,
become
yeah.
dogs is always really fun.
that's it. So I feel like that comes through in that moment, and then when the polar bear's getting more annoyed, and she goes,
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even when
And
she's
then-
just doing the polar bear at other point, just like jumping into shot.
She's obviously just having fun. Like you said, when no one's there, she's getting into the game before they arrive back. And when they're there, like when she says, and 6 sick skunks, and then just has that's hard to say. Like that's
And she
not
has a little laugh
to
to
anybody.
herself.
That's a little laugh to herself. Like, just like, yeah,
She's
I don't
just
know.
embodying that character of the really helpful person who works at, like the person who's always worked at the vet and is just like, a really lovely person.
And just seems to be in a pleasant mood.
yeah.
Which makes all the difference.
We also get a couple of little cameos in this. We get our friend Rita pop back, waiting for the train to come. And then she's joined by, I believe, the first and only appearance of Chilli as a granny, whose name is
Madge, I
Madge.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Chilli also has a granny alter ego. I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I'm waiting for, will there be a bandit alter ego?
Oh.
Like, is there a granddad?
An old grampy.
Yeah.
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 So that'll be interesting. Maybe one
There
day.
is
Maybe
the
one day.
no, I won't mention it because we haven't done it. But there's another
I know.
perfect granny
What
who
is
we
the
haven't
na-
been introduced to
What's
yet.
the name of that granny? Before, if we were like, I forget.
I don't. Did she? Get,
Oh well, let's not worry
Well,
Does she
about it.
even get a
'cause we're not there
name?
yet.
Yeah,
Because
that's-
we're not
I'm definitely sidestepping the rolled up newspaper here. You talked about how like Chilli typically has that maternal sort of spin to her, but then pivots for the sake of the game. Bandit, as we know, is very much the authority figure and tries to tell Bluey off, but then in the flip of a switch, oh no, my cat's hurt. He's like, quick, get on the train, let's go. Like he goes into rescue mode really, really quickly in order to what was the cat's name?
Mr. Cotton Socks.
Mr. Cotton Socks, very good. See, you did have notes. Well done, Marty.
No, actually, I remembered that.
Who needs notes when you're
Having to watch it twice a day. Every day.
Yeah. And has anyone built a house much like Bingo's, which looked to be a combination of blankets, pegs, looks like it was taped to the wall at some point, over a staircase, books to heavy books to hold things down. I loved it.
Still such clear memories.
Yeah,
of those times.
I remember trying to make things with just like blankets, and we had these old couches. But now pram clips, guys, they're
Oh,
brilliant
yes,
for
they're
making
great.
like blanket 40 type things because
Yep,
they're just like
They've
big,
got that bite.
like plastic wide things, and they just clamp on really great. So yeah, we just got a stack of those.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
used to need like 10 clothes pegs in one point to,
'cause
to
they're, like-
hold up.
and they
in
don't
each
really
corner
hold
to
very
no.
tight.
Yep.
Especially if you didn't have very good clothes pegs. I am very particular about my clothes pegs. And
So the
lots
old
of
wooden
them.
ones that you saw on a maid's nose,
Like
those sorts of ones.
I love that all you have to do is say that it's the one that goes on a maid's nose. And I knew exactly what you meant.
So a couple of little doggy treats I saw in this episode. Couldn't find a long dog.
I saw it.
Did you?
Oh,
It's
Do
good.
tell.
Okay, so in one of the sequences, because I've seen it so many times, I'm like, why have I not seen a long dog?
Yeah.
There is a yellow long dog in the fruit bowl, so it looks like a banana, and it's got a little cone of shame on.
What?
Because it's in the vet.
Oh.
So it's got the little, head cone that they stop them from licking their stitches. So it's in the fruit bowl. There's like one of the shots near the end where it's a little bit more zoomed in. So I think potentially when the vet's already been, destroyed by the polar bear. But it's there.
Well, that's way better
I'll send
than
you a picture.
the ones I was going to say.
What were you going to say, though?
I was going to say there's above Bingo's house, which of course is ultimately the stairwell. There's I always look for like the pictures on the wall now in the background.
Yeah.
And there's Chilli there with what looks like a premiership cup or like a sports trophy of some sort. So
it would be a hockey
I'm going to say
trophy, I'm
hockey.
sure,
There's
yeah.
nothing in the picture to suggest that, but that makes sense for her character. And then I think next to that there's it looks like it's meant to be an art shot, but it's essentially a shot of the beach with a sort of a tennis ball in the foreground. And I just went, oh, there's your tennis ball.
There's a
Very
tennis
well
ball.
hidden.
Yep.
And there was a few little appearances in, what is it, Mother Duck Daycare of some toys we've seen before. Polly Puppy, which is from one of the earlier episodes. I don't think we've done this one. It's the one that's where
this already. I don't have a roll-up news, but I do.
Don't
have a
hit me
train
with the whistle. That thing's massive.
Yeah,
it's the one where Sock sort of steals Bluey's toy, and there's a bit of angst there. We see a Viewmaster. I don't know if you guys remember those.
Yeah.
Man, I've got one.
Yeah.
I'll
wow.
get into what it is and why I have it, but
Okay.
but that's related to another story that I want to tell.
Sure. And we also see Millicent, who is Bingo's daughter, I think, in Taxi, if I recall.
Right.
She's the one who throws up on Bandit.
Yeah.
I was looking for a what's that stupid, really annoying one that they always have? Shadowmax.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking for that, but didn't see him, thankfully.
We're going through all the different kinds of public transport, aren't we? We've got the we've had the bus
Taxi,
one. We
yeah,
haven't
bus.
done Taxi
No, we
on
haven't.
the Hammerbound project yet,
no,
but
no.
it's a whole planes, trains, and automobiles sort of thing.
Well, those are the fun games to play.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the time with Naomi. It's like we're on I think I've said before, like a submarine, or we're doing a lot
Yeah.
of planes recently, like planes, spaceships, buses. But, like there's a place now that, it's funny how your local neighborhood just becomes various play areas that get reused. Like there's a little place with some bike, bike lock things.
Oh,
What do
you lock your bike.
Yeah,
catch
that's
your bike.
it.
to the thing.
Bike
Yep.
rings.
Bike stand, I
And
think. Yeah.
it's got like a tap nearby, and there's one of those big taps with a wheel on it. So of course that's the bicycle wheel thing, and you go sit on the seats, and
Yeah, cool.
so
Nice.
so there's different vehicles around your suburb that you get to like muck around in, all that things that you recreate. So every time you walk past it, you have to go and get on the bus, because I think Joe Brum said in one of his interviews, like the kids love to recreate, or his kids love to recreate really mundane things.
Yeah.
And since he said it, I've just been noticing it more and more. It's like there's, I would have always assumed it would be these fantastical type things, but no, it's just like really mundane stuff.
And that's
every
often
day.
where a lot of the humor
Yeah.
comes from
Yeah.
as
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know, there's something extra funny
Airplane
about
food.
why did a kid notice that? Why did a kid when there's all these fantastical things they could have included in the play, they chose to include this little turn of phrase or this little thing from some mundane part of life.
Boop.
It's always just
the way
it's
they
always
always
so funny.
boop in
And
the
like you said,
cards.
the adjusting of the bag while you're waiting for just really setting the scene for like that you're at a train station. I don't know. It's cinema verite. But the Viewmaster that you mentioned.
Yes, go for it.
yeah.
They're so cool, by the way, guys.
They are very cool.
I didn't realize when I was a kid, it took me revisiting them, that they are like stereoscopic. So you've got the two, so that they do
Slightly
have
different
that
images,
3 dimensions to it when you're looking at them. And get this is one of the coolest things I ever got to do. In 2016, there was have I talked about that massive concert I went to on the podcast before?
No, I know what you're talking about, but not
it was
on
held.
here.
Get
Yeah.
this, listeners, just because making my friends jealous isn't enough. I have to. Well, I should say envious, because envious is actually technically when wishes they had something that you had, but
Get on
with
jealousy
it. To the
is when
concert.
you're, is when you're scared that someone's going to take something of yours. But and people get those
I'm
different.
going to blow that whistle in a second.
COVID. No, there was a concert. It was called Desert Trip. It was held in California in 2016, and it had over 3 nights Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Neil Young, Roger Waters, and the Who.
Yeah, so a couple,
And that was
couple of people.
a couple of people. You know, you might have heard of them. And it was like, and I just went, I've always wanted to go to the States, always wanted to drive across the country, always wanted to go to New Orleans. I've always wanted to see a Beatle. Let's do it. And it was just the greatest. And drove across the whole country, and it was just bonkers. But when they sent the ticket out for the concert, they came in this little gift box with the ticket and the lanyard and the bracelet and everything, and it had a Viewmaster
What?
in there with a disc of pictures, stereoscopic pictures of the bands and and shots from around California. It was just like the most extra ticket.
Totally unnecessary.
It's totally unnecessary. But the reason I bring up America as well is because of where I got this train whistle. It is from the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad in New Mexico. And so when I was driving across the country, I went to all these sites of places that I wanted to see and what I wanted to do. And one of them, it turned into a bit of an Indiana Jones trip. Who could have guessed that I would do that? But I have a theory about trains and trains in media. My holy trinity of trinities, my holy trinity of trilogies is, of course, Toy Story,
Right.
Back to the Future,
Back to the Future, yeah.
and, I mean, Indiana Jones goes
Indiana
without
Jones.
saying. And in all 3, the third installment involves a wicked train scene. And in the greatest of all these trilogies, Indiana Jones, in my opinion.
There you go.
The opening scene where River Phoenix is playing young Indiana Jones, there's that awesome train chase. And that was filmed over 2 narrow gauge scenic railroads in the Southwest. One was the Durango-Silverton line in southern Colorado, and the other one was the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad, which I'm wearing the t-shirt as well.
Oh, wow.
I got all this merch while I was there.
Can you see that, listeners? You see?
Can you see Brendan's t-shirt?
Yeah.
He's very proud.
He's really good at this podcasting thing, this Brendan. But I got this stuff because Cumbres and Toltec, it's in northern New Mexico and it runs into Colorado. And that is where they filmed a lot of that iconic scene. And I just wanted to say...
You can't see this, but he has the biggest childlike grin on his
They
face.
know. They know.
They know, but
They can hear it. You can't hear the wood on the whistle, and you can't hear my t-shirt, but you can hear my nerdliness.
you can hear the joy.
One more thing about the episode that I want to make sure I mention
the episode.
is how good Bandit is at being attacked by animals.
Yes.
There's the first sequence where it's just like he gets cut off halfway through what he's saying, don't be blah, and then he's getting attacked by the cat who's just like throttling him on the ground. But I think especially love the animation of when the polar bear gets thrown at him, because it kind of hits him on the outside of the shoulder and then you see him fumble it onto his chest so it can attack him. It's a really nice bit of very real animation. I will admit. Must have had a really good bit of something to base it on because it looks so nice, like like what it would look like if you were playing, as opposed to like it falling right in the middle of his chest and then you just kind of roll.
And don't the animators walk that line perfectly between fantastical, it's a cartoon, it's an animation, so you can get away with these fantastical physical properties, but they also sneak in little suggestions that it is Bandit doing it. It's like, and so it's a perfect blend of what can be done and what can't be done. And it just makes it fun, but fantastical. And also, Marty, on that, I love his band-aids. The bandages on him. It's so Warner Brothers.
Yes.
It's so
Great
Looney
call.
Tunes.
Yep.
Because they anytime Roadrunner would speed off and Wile E. Coyote would end up being crushed by the boulder, and he'd walk back on screen, and just in that same shot, he'd have bandages on, of course, just to illustrate the fact that he's been hurt. But where did the bandages come from? And always, I can remember being a kid, and whenever I got cuts or bruises, I always wanted to put 2 Band-Aids on in a cross.
Because that's
what
how
you
it's
see on the
represented.
cartoons.
Exactly.
And I never needed it, but I always wanted to do it, and I used to like steal Band-Aids and do it because that's what they did
cool.
that's what Wile E. Coyote had. And Bandit, when Bandit had one in an X, I was elated.
I love his fur gets more and more mussed, and then just as he's running through, you see little bits of fur coming off
flying off,
and doing the float down. So he's progressively losing steam.
And hey, we haven't talked about the possible controversial part of this episode that I presume has been edited out for our
but of
American
course we
friends.
should definitely mention that.
I believe I don't know what it gets changed
Slug.
to, but a slug.
It's a slug,
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I tried to look it up because I was trying to see whether that was one of the episodes that got removed. I think I saw today that they've been reinstated.
I think it got edited.
Yeah, I did hear that as well, Marty. Some of the ones that was it teasing and family
Dad
meeting?
Baby.
I don't know about Dad
Baby was
I
removed
think Dad Baby got
entirely.
reintroduced.
I
think
got
that's
put
one of
back
the ones
on.
I saw.
Okay.
So
Right.
that
Yeah,
had
I'd be curious to
previously
see if
been
they-
inaccessible on Disney Plus. I think they've decided that they're okay. So.
But no, I do know that this one got edited because the original, of course.
He's licking a piece of poo, which, I'm all for fart jokes and even poop jokes. You're licking a piece of poo and
It's a piece of poo.
it's a strange request, but I'll do it. And you go,
you know that Bandit knows exactly what's going on. Just getting ready for the massive reaction. This is rather unorthodox, but okay. Just rubbing it on his face.
I love that it's like licking first, then rubbing on the face, and then when he finds out what it is, the thing that most disturbed him was licking it. It's like he actually has memory of the previous thing that happened. That's really nice.
Yeah, no, I think in the edit it's a slug, and I believe I read that when he says, "Oh, a piece of poo," and when his lips say it, they reanimated his lips to be spitting more.
Yeah,
I believe.
okay.
But it's a slug, But yeah.
Slug is also pretty funny, by the way. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's also pretty gross. Slugs are awful, by the way. Snails, there's something about that shell that gives them a little bit more charm. But slugs, oh man.
Naked
sometimes get them
snail.
during the winter. I sometimes get them because I live in the hills. I sometimes get them in my bathroom.
You.
And you wake up in the middle of the night and you nearly step on one. It's not pleasant, guys.
Is
Slugs.
that also because you don't clean your bathroom? Is that
No,
a
I
thing?
do.
That's what the slugs are doing. They're slowly going around,
Slugs are
leaving
cleaning
late.
it. They're going,
No. I know. I shouldn't
No
bring it up
gratitude.
because it is gross, and it does sound to anybody who doesn't live in the hills. But trust me, there are Adelaide Hills residents who are going, I know what you mean. You can't stop them. They come out of the pipes. There's a garden next to it. We got a little courtyard, and they just come. They're not pleasant.
That sounds like such a battle. You could say it's a real slugfest.
You could. Would we though? Should we, Frank?
I enjoyed it. I don't know about you, but
You can get away with anything with this.
We're going to leave him behind. Let's doors closing.
Doors closing.
I don't know when we should do these. It's like Naomi's picks.
Oh, Naomi's picks.
Because I've got a massive list now of.
I love Naomi's picks.
yeah, we got to keep doing that.
Could you
got to
give
stretch
us-
it out.
I think every time you should give us a really massive intro though, like go, Naomi's picks.
Every time, slightly different intro.
Yeah. Give us one, Marty. Give us one.
Oh, okay.
There's trouble, and there's only one person who can stop it. It's Marty. He has to choose. He has to make a selection. It's time for Naomi's picks. Can he make it in time before the meltdown occurs?
This is my new favourite segment. And it's a fun game too.
So I think my best one, it's the... she asked for the diddler episode. Diddler. Any guesses?
Is that Taxi?
Nope.
Yeah, that's a good guess though. Could you can
I'll
you
give you a
repeat
bit
it?
more of a hint, and I'm seeing
Okay.
I'm going to do the right one. Da-la-la, da-la-la.
Magic Xylophone.
Yeah,
it's
that's it,
it's
It's just like da-la-la episode.
yes, and can I use this opportunity? I was so that was one of the first episodes we ever did. Magic Xylophone, and I was so smug when I called it Ronda de la Turk, and it was just I said it so it's the Rondo a la Turca.
Yeah.
And I said it, and I every time I listen to that thing, you're like, you not only are you
put
being
that out
smarmy,
there.
but
You
you're being
published it.
smarmy and wrong. So disgusting. Someone needed to Man's Best Friends playing hard.
Here we go. So next one is map puzzle. I think previously I've given you panda puzzle.
It's the bingo episode.
Okay. Yes. Very good.
Yeah, of course.
Blueberries one. The blueberries one.
How did I not get that bingo one? We've got the book, and the book has a puzzle in it. The bingo book, the book of the bingo episode has that puzzle in the book.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay,
like a
cool.
cardboard book, like the card pages, and there's one of the pages is thick and it has the puzzle pieces in the book. Anyway, what are we doing? Blueberries.
There's blueberries in
one.
the fridge. I can picture the sequence, but I can't remember what episode it comes from.
Blueberries and raspberries.
Ah, yeah.
Trying to pick between them.
Trying to pick between
Which
them. I
doesn't
know
like
this.
me.
Naomi, I'm sorry. I know this. I can hear her screaming.
Can you imagine
She just
being
wants
Marty?
to watch the episode.
Imagine being Marty in this scenario when she
Yeah.
first comes up with these and you have to decipher. Pressure is on.
Oh man, our listeners hate us.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh my god, you call yourselves fans? Blueberries
No.
and things.
It's actually also the bingo episode.
Oh, see, that
That's
was
a cheat.
mean.
That's a cheat.
Okay, and the third
Hang
one.
on,
the last
hang
one,
on.
last
Which one does Naomi say then?
Huh?
Yeah.
When she wants that episode, it
It could
say
be
either.
like
It could
it
be either.
changes. See, this is the
Oh,
thing. There's not one name
sneaky.
for one episode. It's just like show me the bit with that. in
that
it.
adds a whole level.
Yeah,
of the game.
exactly. Okay,
no.
last one.
Okay.
Bingo.
Mini Bluey.
Oh yes, you got it.
Yes.
I was thinking you were going to go
Nice.
for what? So the bingo episode?
Also the bingo
Yes.
Also the bingo episode? No, but you're right.
Oh,
It's
can we
really
please
boring.
do that
So,
episode?
that's-
I love that bingo episode.
So good.
It's one of my favorites.
It's going to have
Yes.
to come up soon.
Yes.
This episode of bingo is called
bingo.
Like she's just so happy to be introducing herself.
Oh man! If it weren't an episode not called an episode of Bluey, you would get some rolled up magazines right now. This is my new favorite segment, and it's a fun game too.
And then if we keep this up, like eventually Naomi's going to be old enough to be on the show and give us the picks herself. Like this would be wonderful.
Now I don't know how I'm going to edit that because we were laughing at the intro, but that would have to go at the start, and we haven't played the game yet. So this game is going to sound to the listeners as linearly confusing as the layout of the Healer House.
As Bandit's ability to always enter from left of
Yeah.
screen. Like
But hey, time here is as fluid as their architectural blueprint.
you just see the blueprint of the house, just a giant circle. You're like, well, that explains
It's just-
everything.
Yeah, the blueprints to the house is on a Viewmaster. Well, I think we've nearly arrived at our destination.
Oh.
The destination being the end of another episode of the Hammerman Project.
Aw.
And thank you, Ludo, for this show. Thank you, Joe Brown. I'm just having fun watching this show with the rest of the world, and I'm also having fun watching it with you guys.
Oh, it's a ride.
It's a wild ride.
It's a wild ride. I'm going to get off now. Yes, okay.
Doors opening.
I'm just going to go sit at that end of the car.
A wise move.
Headphones on.
A wise move. Did you know? I shouldn't really give out train facts without knowing for sure whether they are facts. But I think I heard James May from Top Gear once say that, like on a carriage of a train, like the actual contact area of the wheels to the tracks are like 250 pence pieces, like of an entire locomotive.
That's not
engine.
a unit of measurement, but okay.
No, like you could, it would. It's only a few like square inches of actual contact
Sure.
area for like an entire locomotive train.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's still pretty much the most efficient way of traveling on land. And trains rule, and they should be everywhere. And like freight trains, a really green way of moving lots of stuff, much greener than cars or trucks, I think, because of how once you get them going, it takes a lot of energy to get them going, but the the actual drag on a train is much less because of that contact area and the efficiency of their movement. Yeah, I just think trains just tick all the boxes.
Just end the episode, mate.
Just end the episode, mate. That's probably a good idea. Oh, look, it's my stop coming up. Oh, it's my local hammer barn. I'll have to go there and pick up a few things, and you can join me there, listeners, if you like, anytime. Down aisle 300.
Left of the fake grass.
And if you hit a flamingo, you've gone too far.
Created and produced by Frank, Brendan and Marty. You can follow the Hammerbarn Project on facebook.com/HammerbarnProj, at HammerbarnProj on Twitter, or Hammerbarn_project on Instagram. Theme featuring Nibblings, Kaylee, Jade, Ashley and Reese, and PA announcements by brother-in-law, me, Josh. Thanks for listening, and remember to get down to Hammerbarn for cheap shovels.